This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy. The baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts.
Cover! We got a cover world champion!
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts and 3 Counts is the podcast, baby! There's a real deal, baby!
Knockouts and 3 Counts starts now.
Well, what up, no? It is a Tuesday. Knockouts and 3 Counts is in this bitch. And if you look at the thumbnail, our guest today has some shit to say. We are back with the Suplex Shogun himself, Jackson Stone. 1-800-SUPLEX, motherfucker. How you doing, man?
Well. Let me do it properly for you, man. I got you.
See, I couldn't do it justice. I got to let you... You know,
no, you got it. You got your chest out there. You do way better than most. Let me tell you.
I just run my mouth a lot.
Nah, you know what? Again, man, I want to thank you guys first off again, just to having Shogun on, man. I appreciate that.
Hey, man,
hell of an interest, by the way. Out of all the interests I've seen of a podcast, you guys definitely top 3 out of all of them. I would say maybe you guys are number 1 because that was a hell of an interest. You got JR on the voice. I mean,
appreciate it.
Hell yeah, man. We try to do it big out here. The old one used to have the $1 Million Band on there. You got we got drops from Ken Shamrock. What up, though, Donald? You said you were going to be here. You are here. First of all, shout out to Donald. Because before I go anywhere about talking with the Shogun, I've got to be fair where it's due. Shout out to Donald. Because as soon as I walked in to GCW versus Horror Slam, this dude stopped me and made it a point to let me know that we're one of only 2 podcasts that he's listening to in Michigan, which made me feel pretty fucking good. And then between him and the homie Brad Fenwick, who I ran into, Brad and I went to school together from like 1st to like 5th grade. Hadn't seen dude in like 15 fucking years. Walks right up to me like, bro, I've been seeing what you guys been doing with the podcast. These dudes got me out here double fisting like I'm stone cold. So first of all, thank you for the beer, gentlemen. And second of all, thank you for watching this here fucking podcast. And if you're watching it tonight, anybody who's watching it, make sure you drop them comments. We ain't scared. We want all the questions in this bitch. And if it's new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Everybody who's joining the feed, leave it. Hell yeah, Q&A. Shogun wants all the smoke. All right, what kind of lemonade, what kind of podcast juice are you rocking? Because, see, I knew that you're a lemonade guy. I even got strawberry lemonade to go with my motherfucking Wingstop just for Shogun.
Okay. You know what? That's a good choice. Me, myself, I love the Cane's lemonade if you're talking about restaurants. However, I will say in terms of brands right now, you know, Shogun, I love as a Detroit individual. I love my Faygo. So my Faygo lemonade is number 1. But also, I would say Minute Maid is up there. Country Time is there. Simply Lemon. Simply Lemon is pretty good too when you add a little bit of water. Sometimes they throw more sugar than they do lemon. But in all honesty, you know, honestly, Shogun just loves lemonade in general, man. That's just that suplex and fuel right there.
I like it, dude.
I know you brought up Cane's. We up here aren't fortunate enough to get that on a regular basis. But one thing
he's from Detroit too, bro.
That Chick-fil-A lemonade's hitting too, man.
That Chick-fil-A. That Chick-fil-A lemonade is nothing to mess with. You know, I mean, I would say also they got I think it's either Cane's or Chick-fil-A. They have also the lemonade iced tea. Good stuff, man.
Oh,
good
shit.
Stuff. But yeah, I would say, you know, shouts out to the Columbus Connects and all the Ohio Connects out there that hook me up with the cane sauce and chickens.
Okay, so first of all, before we get into it, I got to think about it. I just thought about it because you mentioned Ohio. So I was watching your match from Horror Slam versus GCW. I mean, I was there, but again, we here at Knockouts and 3 Counts like to be prepared. So I was making sure I had my shit together. That being said, I couldn't help but think, you know, I'd really like to see what would happen if the Suplex Shogun, Jackson Stone, took on a homie of our past, the leader of Shane Taylor Promotions, Mr. Shane T. I'd like to see y'all two go at it. I don't know. I know he did. That's why I want to see this shit.
Say, I mean, right now, if you guys hit up Shogun's YouTube, my home promotion, the place where I started, Mega Championship Wrestling. I want to shout them out because I'm going to be talking about them later on. They hooked up that match with me and Shane right, I would say a couple months. Actually, no, it's probably a year before COVID hit. So, yeah, I was probably around 2018, late 2018. But, yeah, me and Shane, we went at it once, and I'm pretty sure, at least I hope we get a chance to throw hands again.
I mean, hey, we've been pretty much like throwing them out everywhere because not only Shane, but his homies Con and Moses also happen to be past guests of this show. And it's been being thrown around a lot on this show by Donald Holland, who happens to be in the comments that he wants to see them come here to fight DTA. So who knows? Shane Taylor and the homies could be coming real soon. I mean, hell, I know he's going to be on a show with our friends from Pele Pro Wrestling with Detroit's own Isaiah Broner soon. So who knows where the hell we could see them show up next. But we brought up at Horror Slam versus GCW. It was you and Rhino versus Satu Jin and formerly Connor or Big Con from WWE. So first of all, tell me about that match. How are you feeling about it? As you can see from the comments, people were pretty well surprised by the way you were throwing Satu Jin's big ass around. So I want to know what is the Shogun thinking about Horror Slam versus GCW?
Oh man, that's gonna happen again. That's something that's gonna happen again. And in all honesty, that match, Shogun's one thing you gotta know about Shogun. That's why I say hit up Shogun's YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Watch those matches because the one thing about me is always 100% authentic combat strikes, hard strikes, nothing, no give, no slack, if you will. It's all suplexes and all strikes. So for the most part, that match was exactly what I thought. Because if you look at Satu Jin and you understand about where he's coming from, he has that whole GCW background, and it's a lot of hard hitting, a lot of crazy individuals over there as well. So I already know what he was planning on bringing. But Connor,
what did you?
Connor, I would say Connor. That was one thing that I didn't. That was one thing Shogun didn't expect. Now I always say prepare, but the Ascension, one half of the Ascension to be there, to be stomping down the ring, okay, that was something I had to get prepared for. But for the most part, you already saw what happened with me and Connor. Again, Shogun throws hands with the heaviest of them. So it's one of those things where it could be Connor. I don't give a damn if it's Satu Jin. I don't give a damn who it is. Shogun always matches up. If not, goes above.
You're getting a live reaction from me right now. I'm watching this back again for the third time. And God, man, I'm watching you guys go through these tables on the outside.
Much love, man.
Fucking God, talk about that's just raw impact, dude. I just seen you go through the table and then you put Connor through the table. Ouch.
Can we talk about that for a second? Because that was the funny
around it though. That's that authentic wrestling love right there. People gathering around with their phones, just loving that shit.
Oh yeah. Everybody just loving the energy. Loving loving what's going on. And hell, after that, it was a clothesline in a chair. He knocked me down. We got back in the ring. Me and Satu had to go at it for a minute. I had to try to get that dub for us. It's one of those things where Shogun's always either trying to win, he's always trying to suplex somebody, or he's always trying to knock somebody down. So it's whatever.
It's a fight.
You going night one way or the other, pretty much is what we're getting at.
Much love, man. Thank you, J-Bone. Appreciate that.
You got it, man.
Hey, man, so we got a question for you in the comments. Before I get to a couple other questions I have regarding your match, before you got to do your match, or I guess it would have been after your match, what are your thoughts on, what are Shogun's thoughts on Hotch versus Weir?
Shogun's thoughts is two high-level athletes, but Shogun wasn't in the match suplexing nobody, so Shogun doesn't really have no thoughts other than if I wasn't suplexing nobody, well, damn, ain't nothing really to talk about, bro. Again, you got two great athletes. I give they props. I give they flowers to Alex Weir, the swift kicks of him, lightning strikes, and then also Jason Hawks. I feel honestly top three top 3 Midwest most underrated unsigned talents. Possibly, honestly, going far to the east, and honestly, I'll say the country. Dude's very talented. Both men are very talented, but Shogun was in that ring. It'd be a whole different set of equations going on, ladies and gentlemen. So, I mean, I understand.
Hell
Donald,
yeah, motherfuckers gonna end on their neck.
I appreciate you checking out that match, but I understand there was a big factor that was out of that one.
I do got a question involved in that match. What does Shogun value more in his career? Having Rhino in his corner or being able to put on a performance like that in the match like that?
Ooh, growing up as a Detroit kid, to see a Detroit like Rhino go through the ranks that he went through, I mean, hell, it was a dream to be able to have him backing me up. But, it's even better to hear him cheer me on, to say squeeze his head off on his birthday, like that, just that type of thing. I love it. Like, he was cheering me on, to have him cheering me on, to suplex, throw these guys around. Oh man, that was a hell of an experience. Something that I'm grateful for.
I could imagine, like you say, he's a real legend of the area, of course. And you could just tell that the fans in attendance were going for you two guys like tenfold. The crowds and the chants were for almost you two exclusively, other than the happy birthday thing. It was basically all about you guys. So
happy birthday, man. Rhino's a legend.
Yeah.
Rhino's a legend, man. I'm giving the legend his flowers, man. He's a hell of a guy, man. Awesome. Always, right before the match, just giving me some good knowledge. Basically saying, throw him far and throw him, throw him as far as many times as you want to. All right, cool. So, but no, all love to Rhino, man. Setting the example.
Hey, man, we got mad love for Rhino out here. I think I told you a little bit about it while I was there, but it's definitely one that I've got to make happen on this show because I forgot to bring the tape with me. But Rhino and I go way back because my dad used to be a power lifter. When I was a kid, him and Rhino used to lift together all the time. I still have the copy of WrestleMania 18 that Rhino gave me for my 11th birthday at the Powerhouse in Taylor before that turned into Reps Gym and all that shit. And even to go so that you can know that it's not bullshitting, my ass was so stupid that he had to whisper gore in my ear before I figured out what the fuck was going on at first. So just saying, we go back a ways. Plus, once I first started trying to learn how to throw people and suplex people, he'd always go, "You're doing that powder puff MMA shit," and just giving me a hard time when I'd see him at the gym and all that shit. So, Rhino, if you hear this, I was a big fan of what we saw in your stylings with Shogun here. If you ever feel so froggy and want to leap, the door is open for you to come join us on Knockouts and 3 Counts. Hell, we could talk about your podcast as well. But back to the matters at hand and back to Shogun. Something that we had talked about when we were there at the GCW show. I was telling Corey and J-Bone before we went into this interview, I think it says a lot as to the trajectory of where you're headed, even though with you being signed to Impact, the fact that all these places are putting you in the ring with guys like Rhino, guys like a Connor, guys like, these guys who have either been in the big show, still are in the big show, still signed wherever. I just feel like that can't do anything but give you not only more experience, but it looks better on a resume. So with that being said, we talk about, obviously, when a lot of people talk about you lately, you'll hear a lot of people bring up, you having one Impact gut check, which I know you're still signed with Impact, but I wanted to give you the floor to talk about some of the other stuff that you got going down. I know you're going into Canada. I know you said you got a lot of shows that are on the hit list. So let us know a little bit about who is on Shogun's hit list coming up, because we've also got some other questions about Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling as well from Donald in the comments. So I will give you the floor, kind sir.
Hey, Donald, I see you out there commenting on the King Show. Thank you so much for that love. That's me and Jamal King. Shouts out to the young King out there. You guys look him up on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Another talented, very, very talented wrestler on his way up also. We co-host our own podcast, but pretty much right now.
Tell us about that. What the fuck, man? You come out here and promote stuff. You ain't even gonna promote your own damn podcast.
Hey man, we got a plethora of things we gotta talk about. But I want to backtrack also real quick because you mentioned me and Rhino teaming. Shogun's been in the game for about 6.5 years, and in the 6.5 years, I've been grateful to have certain run-ins with people before that. Me and Rhino actually had a match beforehand at a place, JCW, Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
We know them too.
Yeah. So if y'all get a chance, please check that one out. Let Shogun know what you think, because that one was crazy. Shogun had a chance to suplex Rhino through some barricades. Never thought I'd get a chance to say that. So, but yeah, man, it was that was a great time. But pretty much with that podcast, me and Jamal have, honestly, man, what we do is just, it's like dream champs for wrestling. Honestly, we just want to be like somewhere wrestlers can feel comfortable coming to, and we just talking, shooting the shit. We us as wrestlers, we want to be able to have a place where we can just come through and again just have a good time. It's a place we always like to say it's for wrestlers by wrestlers. We talk about wrestling and life. And in the first couple episodes, it was really just me and Jamal just laying the groundwork. Just letting people know about who we are. Letting them know about who our friends are. We brought Bronner in. Shouts out to Bronner, Big Money Bronner out there.
Yes, of the show.
We brought in Spirit of Detroit, John Ty, and Joseph Ira. We also brought in Blake 182. We were former tag champions up in Canada. We're gonna get to that, but also our brother Josh Jonai. We just come through. We just have like our own discussions about where we feel wrestling is, where we are in our wrestling careers, where where we want to go in our wrestling career, and just other things of that nature, and just life in general, man. Honestly, it's a podcast we really put our love in. Shouts out to the Coolest Lanes podcast for even putting us on and getting us that dope banner. So yeah, if you guys get a chance, check it out. It's on Spotify. We're working on getting on Apple Music, but also we're on Podbean, YouTube, all that stuff. I'll be posting on my Facebook and my Twitter and my Instagram and all that stuff as well.
Well, I'll make sure to check that out, but that brings up a good question. Okay, so as we're kind of starting to get out of the pandemic, and you said you got all these different places that are on your hit list and all these different places to go. I mean, where do you see the overall state of, what do you see as the overall state of pro wrestling, both on an indie standpoint and with you still being signed with Impact? Do you think, that we're in a good place even on the bigger stage?
I feel that right now wrestling is at its highest point, almost at you people. I've heard the word renaissance be thrown around. It's kind of like that in ways of talent, because there's so much talent. Like there's so much talent. Wrestling to me is like music. It's just like there's so many different genres, so many different artists, so many different people, records being put out there every day. And fortunately, we have IWTV, we have things like, YouTube, of course, Facebook, all that stuff, where people can post their matches and see that content. Also, vlogs and all that other stuff. I feel right now, wrestling's at a beautiful spot. The part where Shogun wants to bring it back is, or at least not even bring it back, bring it to even brighter light is the authenticity of it. Shogun wants to bring his own authenticity to it. I'm not even talking about I'm talking about myself. I want to bring my own authenticity to my own art, my own ways to this beautiful sport. And to me personally, I feel right now wrestling in the next 5 years is honestly paradigm shift type stuff is going to take place. I feel, you have so many different things happening, people getting released, people getting acquired, people, forbidden doors and all that stuff, and what really is in depth about that. So it's just, I feel like in the next 5 years you're going to see some big things that's going to be happening and giving more guys and more women more opportunity, not just in America, but also Canada, Mexico, Asia, the Middle East, all that, the Europe, the Euro. I'm planning on going out there pretty soon. Like, it's one of those things where it's like there's so much opportunity out here. You just gotta look. And thankfully, we're not in the age of phone books, so and tape trading for real. So we can actually just go right to the phone or to the laptop and start searching and just pick where you want to go. But for sure,
that's one thing I said about the pandemic and everything. I feel like especially for wrestling is such an art, and like you said, it's kind of like music. You can paint your own picture different ways. Everybody's got their own way to do it. But with the pandemic, it kind of forced people to get into the modern technology. And here we are doing more live streaming shows with wrestling Like you seen it wrestling with no fans, but it's live streaming, everybody's watching. So that's that. I feel like it was forced into that nature, and I think wrestling came out on the other side of this pandemic in a very good way.
Oh yeah, as a business for sure. Like the business is always going to flourish. I feel just because it's like wrestling reflects life, and people just want to be entertained. People just want, and fortunately, wrestling happens to be a form of entertainment. I don't think of it as sports entertainment. So I want the listeners to understand what I just said. It's a form of entertainment for me.
The damn art, if you ask me, man.
Exactly. So again, when you see Shogun in the ring, it's a fight, So be careful what you ask for. But I'm just saying, it's like one of those things where right now we're in such a beautiful time where you have so many different ways of the martial arts evolving. Not just in pro wrestling, but I'm talking about in terms of just jiu-jitsu, and also like jiu-jitsu is also seeing more wrestlers, more judoka people come into play. That's something that was kind of a slow, gradual build up to. And I feel like with wrestling, it's pretty much the same thing. It's like we got to the part where like we're kind of in this digital age now of showcasing what we are, and now it's gonna I feel like it's gonna grow even more into, I think a universal, something even larger than what IWTV is possibly.
All right. Well, you brought that up. You brought up jiu-jitsu. I think that's something that you're seeing. Obviously, like you said, you're seeing it integrated more and more into wrestling, because I think it further is just pushing what I've said for years, and how MMA and pro wrestling are so closely linked, and why you're seeing so much more of it. You see it even in AEW, clear to when Bryan Danielson is training for a match with Kenny Omega with the likes of Joe Lozon from the UFC to help him get ready for a wrestling match. That pretty much should tell you pretty much everything you need to know. So with that being said, I know you've picked up jiu-jitsu. So tell me a little bit about jiu-jitsu. Why jiu-jitsu? What got you into jiu-jitsu? Feel free to talk about where you're training. And shout out to the homie Jimmy Fleming from fucking Proving Grounds. Yeah, I remember you, and I want the smoke the next time I'm on the mat, you some bitch. Go ahead.
Shouts out to the Proving Ground Gym, because the Proving Ground Gym, we actually just had a couple people get gold in Worlds, I believe. So shouts out to the whole crew, everybody out there, Jason, Patrick, the professors of everybody, Mike, Dinaj, all you guys, much love. But pretty much with jiu-jitsu has always been, I feel like something that's always been in my life, with just not knowing, because it's like it's a 360 of grappling. I started as a judoka, at least like my father was my sensei, and then as I got older, I went into Greco and freestyle wrestling in high school and in college, and before that, it was still a lot of judoka even before even preteens, but then after that, it was like, all right, well, jiu-jitsu is just bringing it all together. I feel in a more fluid fashion. There's submissions in judoka, and there's submission locks and whatnot. You can stretch somebody out for sure, and freestyle and throw somebody like crazy in Greco. But when you bring it all together in the actual jiu-jitsu match, is really fucking beautiful to see. Excuse my language for all the people, earmuffs children, but
fuck it, we're already past that.
Much love. So yeah, pretty much like when you bring all that together, that's why you get jiu-jitsu. You got a person that's able to not just get some type of wrist control, shoot for a single, go for a double, get some type of body control, but also a person that's able to take you down in a different type of way, using foot sweeps or whatever, and then bringing that together with a choke or some type of joint lock. That's just amazing to see. And I feel that right now we're seeing an evolution. Like watching all these flow grappling videos, seeing all these guys go from college, go right over to the UFC, go to these jiu-jitsu tournaments, realizing that, hey, you guys don't really know takedowns. It's just evolving. The game is just evolving and better for it, honestly. Because a few years ago, hell, everybody was so worried about just taking a seat and trying to get guard. Now you have people willingly in open guard just saying, hey,
their ass right away.
Yeah, just do whatever you need.
Even in MMA fights.
Exactly. So I feel that right now is it's one of those things where, again, the game it's just evolving, man. It's just like a revolving wheel that fortunately we have martial artists that find new ways to make the game better.
I completely agree with that. I mean, it's no secret on this show. I mean, I've been training jiu-jitsu since I started training jiu-jitsu when I was 14 and I just turned 29. Fuck, do the math. That's a long time. I haven't gotten to train consistent the whole time, but I've got a purple belt in jiu-jitsu myself, so I fully
nice.
100%. Hey, man. Shout out to my coach, Don Richard, which that was something I was going to bring up out of what you said. You know, you mentioned that you started as a judoka. My coach, was lucky enough to train with a coach who was a black belt in jiu-jitsu and judo, and you know, had taken, you know, second, you know, won world championships and all that kind of shit. Like back in the day, my coach fought like Dan Severin, Soa Palele, Ben Rothwell, guys like that, like back in like the early of MMA. So I completely agree with you. I think the integration of what we've seen from jiu-jitsu, just pure to the fact, okay, take a guy like what you're seeing on Monday Night Raw right now, like Matt Riddle. There's a reason why he has been able to, you know, have such a seamless transition to wrestling, I feel like, because again, it's further, you know, illustrating the true meshing of styles that MMA and wrestling, or in this case, jiu-jitsu and wrestling, or grappling and wrestling for that matter. I think, again, or like a Shayna Baszler, I mean, you go down the list. I mean, there's so many that have done well, and I think a lot of that has to do with that grappling background. Before we get off the grappling real quick, though, I mean we had the big UFC.
Batista has his blue belt, doesn't he?
Yeah, him too.
Actually, he has
he's got a blue belt and a purple belt. Andy had an MMA fight.
Yep. Bobby Lashley as well. So I mean, like, it's awesome. I want a quick shout out to the other gyms. I hit up Detroit Jiu-Jitsu, Voyage. Much love to you guys.
Boys. Let's go. I didn't know you rocked with the DJJ.
Oh yeah. You know, all you guys. You know, you guys all showed me love when Proving Ground was getting set up. So much love to all the jiu-jitsu gyms, all the dojos out there. Shogun will be coming out again soon. Just, you know, seeing what's going on.
Well, I got to make this happen. I call it out here. I ain't scared. I want smoke with Shogun one of these days with jiu-jitsu. We'll see if I still know how to use this purple belt, even though it was at a SummerSlam party that we were throwing with our buddies from Breaking Down the Ring. Fucking crackhead bastards decided to break into everybody's car and decided, here, let me not take the bag with the gi and all that shit. I'm going to just take your belt out of the bag and I'm going to leave the bag in the car. So they took my guitar and took my jiu-jitsu belt. What the fuck you're going to do with my guitar and a jiu-jitsu belt, I don't fucking know. But they took my guitar and my purple belt. So
what are you going to do?
And then here's the best part of it.
Your mantle or some shit? Like,
dude, and the best part of it now is I don't get to train regularly. So I go into these gyms, bro, and they automatically just assume that I'm a white belt. And then I'll kind of roll all slow and they're like, oh shit, this guy knows what the fuck he's doing. It's like
you're incognito right now. You're incognito.
Hey, I'll wear the white belt real quick. I mean, shout out to past sponsor of the show, our boy Matt Stransky. I got a t-shirt coming your way, sir. And if you guys need you a t-shirt, get you one of them knockouts of 3 counts t-shirts. We got that new design thanks to the beautiful Miss American Kaiju Lindsay Snow. Check out our past episode with her in the past episodes. But Shogun, like I said, we were talking about jiu-jitsu and things like that. Did you get to see the Max Holloway fight this past weekend?
Hell yeah. Most definitely. Shogun watched that right after. Shouts out to me. Shouts out to my homie Chase. He was able to set that up. Chase Burnett. We was able just to chill out and watch it right after the MCP W show, which also shouts out to Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling, another amazing promotion that I hit up other than Mega, you know, but man, that fight.
We got some questions in the comments about them as well. So,
oh yeah, man, that fight, man. It's like once I saw him, it's like it's so many headshots that one can take, but it's like Max don't care. And it's one of those things. He just like the headshots he takes. it's as if he absorbs them in his body and brings them back out on offense himself. And it's
Walks
like,
right
again,
through.
he's a
Walks right
different
through.
breed. He's a different breed of person. You cannot tell me there's a different type of person where you can have a fight and you can make somebody stop and teach them something real quick. Hey, man, hold on. Let me show you something. And then get back going. There was a fight, like literally, like, I forgot what fight it was. Oh, my God, but he stopped
Ortega.
Yep. Oh, my God. Yes. I remember because Ortega was even looking like, yo, what's happening? Am I really learning something right now? But it was crazy, man. But that's just the level of, again, you just gotta understand it's a high level of combat intelligence that these guys possess. And Max, like that whole fight just showed that shit, man. That whole fight just showed that. From the head, like just from the head movement to like the times when you thought that, I mean, on the ground, people thought, he might get, no, he got right back up. He always just the ability to get down and get back right back up. That whole fight, man, was amazing.
It really was. It was such a showcase of Max's ability to weather the storm and just, like you say, almost deliver all that energy that was like, it was like he was a battery that got charged by getting punched, I guess you could say. Like, he was able to deliver all of that charge that he was building throughout the first round, because he did lose that first round.
Yeah,
he
most
did.
definitely.
He got outstruck in that first round, and it was wild to see. Shout out Yair Rodriguez coming back off a 2-year layoff, looking the way he did, man. That was wild. You could tell he genuinely did everything he could to hone his skills in this layoff that he went through. It wasn't like he was just, coasting around his career and hoping for the best. He genuinely went in there showing a different side of himself. And shout out Max Holloway. It's hard to not say anything positive about him. I mean, he looked amazing in that fight. But I'm just so genuinely surprised with the way Yair was able to give a fight like that to somebody like Max Holloway. We all knew what level Max Holloway was at. Me, myself, I still consider him champ. A lot of people do. And for Yair to just even put on that competitive of a fight was just genuinely surprising, man. It really was.
And we say 2-year layoff?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh, man. 2-year layoff.
Well, and that brings up a good question for you, Shogun. I mean, with Holloway getting this win, I mean, all of us have said we're big fans of Holloway, but do you feel like, when that fight was over, you heard Holloway talk about McGregor. We heard him name Poirier. We heard him name a couple other names up at 155. I mean, it didn't go very well for him at 155. I feel like 145 is the place for him to get that title shot. But what do you think the next fight for what do you think the next fight should be for Holloway? Would you try to take the money fight with McGregor, which, first of all, I mean, he's not even healed yet, or secondly, would you want to hurry up and take that title fight? Because I also heard Volkanovski say today that he wants that fight. He's actively asking for that fight. So he said, the fight is yours if you want it, sign the contract. If not, then who's next? So what do you think is the next right fight for Max Holloway?
Oh, I mean, people want that. The people want the counter fight just because of the polarizing figures in there. But I feel if I was a coach or if I was just somebody on his team or whatever, I would just say, hey, man, just common sense, go for the title. I say go for the title because in that way, I mean, again, like you say, it didn't go so well last time. But also, I mean,
I thought he won the second one.
Yeah, that's growth. There's growth in all that. So I would say, hell, you could even do, if he wants to, could do even better than Conor, dominate that weight division, go and then have a couple fights and go up if you're feeling really confident, or even have a. I mean, I don't know what they would do, but across, try to go for that champ title. If he wants, since he wants it so bad, which I feel like that's not far from Max. It's just like, he just needs the opportunity. But I say go for the title since it's in your possession, since it's literally in your sights right now. Go for that. Because
that's kind of where I'm at too.
Yeah, I agree with the point. Like you say, that's kind of where my sight would be set as well. But you said, Kyle, that he didn't do that well at 55, but I argue that's just because he fought a killer in Dustin Poirier. There wasn't nothing that
right, but
bad.
wouldn't you say that Dustin Poirier is even more of a killer now than he was then?
Yes and no, but I also feel like if you were to give Max a 5-month layoff to actually build a little bit of size for the division.
Oh, sure, that's unarguable.
I
agree.
Try to jump up. Like, I feel like he would do very well, and because he's now reaching his, if I'm not mistaken, he's 29, just like I am.
Yep.
He's about to reach that 30 stage. He's already noted how 145 is not the easiest cut for him in the world. He's been champ there multiple times, held the belt for a very significant amount of time. He's arguably the best 145er active in the world right now. And I feel like if you're going to do it, now would be a great time. We already have seen the fight with Volkanovski twice. I personally, being a greedy fan that loves seeing great fights, I want to see it a third time. I do. But I feel like for his career and the possible progression, like you can move him up to 155 and put him up against number 3, Beneil Dariush right now. And you're telling me that fight wouldn't be fun as hell? It would put Beneil in
I got no problem with that, but I want to see him go and get his belt at 145 since there was already the bullshit with the last fight. I feel like you go back, you fight him, and if you can beat him, take the 145 belt. Then you go up to 155 because regardless of whether he loses at 155, now look at what happened to John Jones. John Jones gave up the light heavyweight title before he ever got his heavyweight title shot. And now look what happened. Granted, John Jones did what John Jones does, but I'm saying purely from fight standards, he gave away all his bargaining chip by getting rid of that fucking belt before he had a fight. If I'm Max Holloway, I go back and I fight Volkanovski again because, like I said, I think he won the second fight. So go back, beat him. Once you beat him, you got the belt. Now you've got the bargaining chip. Now not only do you have that Conor fight, which is what they were talking about, you've got that in the back of it, but now not only that, you have the bargaining chip, not Conor, because you've got the belt. I think all roads got to go through that belt for Max Holloway because if he doesn't, I feel like he'll do more damage to himself than if he didn't. That being said, shout out to Kathy. We mentioned Kathy, shout out to go ahead, show her that twisted tumbler. Get you a motherfucking twisted tumbler.
Mine's blank. Mine's blank.
Can I get one with Shogun on it? One that just says well.
Hey, we won't show you what's on the other side.
Shogun, man. You seriously got to check these out. Like, I'm serious. These bitches are hard body, dude. See, Kathy, I'm getting you business. You see this here?
That's really nice.
It don't get better for custom cups, man.
And she just made a shirt, so my little man's not only got his own cup, he's got a sippy cup, he's got a bottle with the logo on it, and he's got a shirt in this bitch before the onesie that's coming with them shirts comes. This dude's gonna be ready before he ever makes his damn debut. Ah, damn.
But real quick, just to jump back, because I did have another point to make. I feel like you say that would take away from his career if he didn't go that path, but I feel like if it's an inevitability that he ends up moving up to 55, I feel like it would take away from his career to try to still maintain the 145 stature.
I agree, but he's got to close that business out with Volk first.
Yeah, I agree. He has to close out. He has to try to get the belt first and then naturally bump up.
I got no problem with him going to 55. I agree with everything you said, but to me, he's got to finish that business with Volk first. Because to me, he won the second fight, and I feel like it's very arguable that he won the second fight. But at the end of the day, like you said, when you look at the paper, it says that Volkanovski won. So in order for him to really be able to even close the chapter or even put a pause on that 145 chapter, to me, he either has to beat him or at least fight him again. Or I feel like his run at 145 will never truly have the thing because he's already cemented himself as one of the best.
Yeah, he is definitely already, if you're talking like Mount Rushmore of the division itself of 145, he's like, if not number one, he's number two right behind Aldo. Like he's right
I got a question, maybe a point. So, I mean, I understand what you guys are saying as far as the belt, and I mean, it all depends on Max Holloway's mind state and what he wants to go, in the future. But is Conor still the big money fight when it comes down to all that? Because I mean, I see rumblings of like the belt.
Well, just because if you look at the pay-per-view sales from last year, he was 1 and 2. So absolutely. Especially
I don't know what it is, dude, but people
getting pay-per-view points.
Who better to deserve a huge payday than Max Holloway, man? I think the guy.
But you know,
really
like the best thing about it is, though, guys, like I feel we're kind of come out of that age of we're coming out of the age of what Connor issued in terms of creating the big money fight just off of popularity or off of like clout, if you will. You know, kind of like, hey, how's this guy jumping ahead of this guy that has, you know, the. So I feel right now with Max, I feel like that. I mean, I feel like that's the only big money match for him. Honestly, after that, is reasonable. It's like I'm thinking about in terms of like booking. If you were even to have a wrestling show, you know,
he deserves to be paid, man.
Yeah, you would want that guy to get that title, and after that, you would want him to say, all right, well, this other person that presents something else to him of a challenge, but also they had a title that he also wants in champ.
But I feel like one thing that gets left out a lot in this argument, because I listen to a ton of MMA podcasts, and this is an argument that's constantly brought up, is what's going to happen with Holloway. But say Holloway does end up winning this third fight, then what about Volk? I mean, Volk deserves some fanfare himself, man. He's done, like, I know, say what you want about his fights against Holloway and stuff, but he's been in.
Let him get his rematch, but why can't?
He's done nothing but represent the belt with full integrity and as a proper, you know, division champ should. And I would hate to see.
It all depends on how that fight goes, though.
Max Holloway and Volkanovski just be left by the wayside after beating him twice. So, you know, I
agree with that, but it all depends on how that fight goes.
If you end up doing this match again, though, I feel like you could really end up in a perpetual cycle of Volkanovski, Max Holloway, Volkanovski, Max Holloway, because Volk could definitely make.
Well, I mean, not really, because if Volk beats him again, that's 3. Whether there was bullshit on the second one,
he wins. Then then
let's do best of 7.
But if Max wins, we're definitely talking rematch after that. And then what happens then if it's another close decision either way? Then we're talking a 4th or 5th match at that point. Yeah. So it's like I love the matchup, I do, and I feel like Max deserves every crack at that belt. But with the payday at hand and Connor talking about coming back and him already wanting to move up, I feel like it's a perfect fight, man.
And honestly, I think he'd box Connor's head off now, dude.
Yeah,
I agree 100% with you, man. But that's all the more reason y'all motherfuckers got to check us out this Thursday, because there's more shit to talk about on Thursday. But speaking about getting title shots, one of the comments that has been brought up in the comments by our friend Donald Holland is he wants to know, when are you going to start pushing next over there at Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling to go get you a damn title shot, dude?
Man, you know what? That's going to happen pretty soon, I feel like that's something that's Shogun had that he had the mega, the Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling Cup. It was like a tournament, if you will, and Shogun won the tournament, and that was a title shot chance. Didn't come out the victor. That was against I believe it was against Jamal possibly, but honestly, if anything, Shogun's in a different headspace right now, and I feel like it's gonna be happening pretty soon. For real, it's gonna be happening pretty soon. Same thing possibly for the Mega Championship, because the Mega Championship is held by Trey, so I feel like that's something that I might be aiming for as well later on.
I mean, I'm with it. We needed to see Shogun do all the gold. I mean, we saw Jordan Grace doing her thing with that digital championship picture. I don't think we need the same kind of picture from Shogun when you pick up all these gold belts. But, I mean, a pretty dope-ass picture with some of that lemonade might do the picture. But
hey, man,
with that,
I had my champ status at one point. About a year ago, right before COVID. So it's that glorious shot. I had the 3 belts on me. One from XICW, one from Mega, and one from actually a Toledo promotion, WBW. But you know what? It's gonna be happening soon. We start off I kind of slow, but now we back on it. Going back up to Canada pretty soon here. Shouts out to Crossbody Promotions. And gonna be suplexing some people over there.
Well, it's good to see that you can finally get back into Canada. We'll have to see if you get some of that Canadian bacon when you go up there to go throw these suplexes. I mean, I know you said that you and past guest of the show, Blake, were tag team champs up there. I mean, how do you feel to be getting back up there over to Canada? Do you know if their wrestling scene over there is still staying as hot, seeing as you're not able to kind of get in and out with as many of the, U.S., the U.S. talent getting in there? I mean, I don't know if that took any real hit to their indie scene up there.
I mean, they still have a strong pool of talent for real. Like Canada is a wonderful place to go, especially for wrestlers. Oh my gosh, they love wrestling over there, man. It's a different type of energy. And especially shouts out to all my Toronto people, everybody out over there, over in Kitchener, Ontario, Windsor, Mississauga, all you guys up there, Nova Scotia, appreciate you. So yeah, pretty much it's they just love wrestling, man. They love it, especially when you start throwing some of their favorite wrestlers around. It's amazing to see how they start switching. Yeah, like when you just start suplexing people, man, they go crazy for it. But shouts out to Canada. Again, big shouts out to Crossbody Pro Wrestling. Gonna be going back up there pretty soon and seeing what's going on.
I like it, man. I haven't been to Canada in quite a while, but you're not lying. I mean,
man.
I mean, dude, I was going to Canada a lot when my sister was doing her thing rowing.
Canada shit.
Canada! I went to Canada a lot. I went to Canada.
Throw me off with it.
I went to Canada and watched them row down the river when my sister was doing the rowing deal. I went to Canada and watched them row their boat gently down the stream. Yeah, man, we're definitely excited to see you get back up in there to Canada. This brings a good thought, and who better to ask than Shogun? Because, I mean, you've got quite the eccentric personality. What are your thoughts on somebody like a Colby Covington in wrestling and vice versa, since we're talking about the combat sports side of things? What do you think with a Colby Covington and a guy like more your size, like a guy like Junior Dos Santos? How do you think they stack up in the pro wrestling deal?
Well, Junior's already in. He's already kind of getting some AEW love now.
I know. That's why I'm saying I want to know what you think.
I mean, I think it's interesting. Something that's inevitable, something that already basically happened. I mean, Ken Shamrock was essentially the very first, I would say one of the very, him and Steve Blackman, let's not forget him. He was very legit in karate. I remember he was very fluid. So he, those guys, like, they all kind of started that, if you will.
And don't forget Al Snow, man. Don't forget Al Snow.
Yeah, Al Snow. Yeah, also shouts out to OVW. I'll be hitting you guys up pretty soon as well. Shouts out to everybody in Kentucky. But yeah, Al Snow. And even before that, I mean, hell, you had, Ed Strangler. You had guys like Dan Gable. You had all these like
Danny Hodge.
Hodge, you had Gotch. You had all these guys that were real stretchers, that could really like stretch people out for real. And Fez, yeah, Detroit's own. So I mean, it's one of those things where it's like,
God damn, I watch way too much wrestling.
Hey man, we all do. It's never too much. But
can it be too much ever?
I mean, clearly it's not for you with fucking Ricky Steamboat and shit all over your shirt.
Well, yeah, you like, yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Taking it way back.
Yeah. Which Flair match is your favorite, by the way?
Mine?
Yeah. Which one is?
Yes.
Flair?
Which one out of the three? Flair and Steamboat, asshole. You know what we're talking about.
I do, but fuck, man, they're all so good. I don't know.
Which one? You got to pick one.
You can't make me choose that.
Yeah, I know. I feel you.
Hell yeah, you can. He's the guest. He gets to make you pick.
Listen, hey, I'll tweet it in a little bit. That gets you guys to follow me on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Tell them where to follow you at, and let them know. Let them know where they follow you at.
Hey, I was just talking. What is my Twitter handle? I'm trying to brush up on this. It's J-Bone Show at the J-Bone Show. Hey,
tell them about the J-Bone Show. That's the thing, man. So J-Bone's the hip hop guy over here, bro. So that's as good a question as any. Before Shogun gets ready to suplex a motherfucker, what kind of stuff is putting you in the mood to suplex a motherfucker?
Oh, bro, always. I mean, I've been always a Wu-Tang Clan fan, but I mean, I love all genres. But right now, what's been on my rotation? what's been on my rotation right now? I just got the Big Sean EP featuring with Hit Boy. You know, Offense was one of my favorite ones off of that. Also, Run the Jewels number 4. Their most recent album. I've always been a Run the Jewels fan since they debuted accidentally. You know, I've always been a fan of those guys. But yeah, Run the Jewels number 4. And finally, I'm actually gonna say, honestly, Tech 9 has been bumping like crazy in my like, Tech 9 and Joey Rock.
Joey Badass.
Joey Cool. I'm sorry, Joey Cool. Yeah, Joey Cool. Yeah, man, Joey Badass is dope as hell too. But Joey Cool, he's been on my radar for real, man. They're just all amazing artists, man. Y'all hear that Face Off?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What y'all think of the Rice verse?
You go first. You're the hip hop guy, J Bone.
Hey.
See, I'm plugging you. Check out the J Bone show.
Greatest rapper alive. Don't tell him he's not. I dare you.
Right. I've heard we gave our impressions on the show when it first came out, and my impressions was I've heard a lot worse celebrity cameos.
Yeah.
He didn't do that terrible. Like it was kind of like The Rock, corny. Like
I'm not mad at it, bro. Like I'm not surprised he did good because with it being The Rock,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's what I was saying before. The guy can do anything.
Good. You know, like The Rock has a certain, especially the later into his career that he's gotten, he's got a certain way of only putting out like stuff that garners the right kind of attention for his career, and I feel like that was exactly what he did.
Oh yeah, right on time for the gym. I would say
he can literally.
It felt like if you gave him a microphone at that point, he probably feel like he cutting a promo on somebody. I feel like he was like talking,
there's arguably not anybody better with coming up with shit off the top of his head. So I mean, you can't really go wrong with Rock. And before we get off of hip hop, shout out to the homie Mega Ran doing the new theme song for King Woods over there on SmackDown. Shout out to Mega Ran and his new album Live 95. I want to know, when the fuck are we going on our next road trip, bro? Let me know when we're going on our next road trip. I'll be in that bitch. If you need somebody to be your road dog when you head down to Survivor Series this Sunday, which if you're headed down to Survivor Series, you got to check us out this Thursday so I can tell you who the fuck's going to win at Survivor Series and why they need to do something to spice up that Survivor Series match. But that's why you got to tune in this fucking Thursday, because I got plenty of shit to say, just like the Shogun did today.
Okay. Oh, wait. Before you get off hip hop, shouts out to my one of my sponsors right here, man. Destroy Everything, Detroit brand right here. 100% Detroit brand, man. My man's Venomous. All of them. Shouts out to the Alchemists. Shouts out to everybody. Ritz. Also, Ritz dropped a EP. Also, he has Dig Deeper, and that's dope. But yeah, man. Like much love. Shouts out you guys. Can't hit up Destroy Everything. Definitely.
I've seen a lot of their stuff. They put out some dope shit. So shout out to Detroit's own, man.
Yeah. Destroy Everything, man. Shouts out to you guys. Destroy Everything. Hit us up.
Yeah.
Hey man, I like it. Like I said, I've seen plenty of their stuff. Well, before I let you get out of here, I know I said I was going to talk about it.
Careful. You ain't kicking me out like that. What's up?
Hey man, I don't want to be respectful of your time and all, you know, man. I know you gotta get your rest so that you have the energy to suplex the next motherfucker the next morning.
I mean, I still got to push these matches out. I feel like I got all these matches.
Okay, cool. Then if we've got more time, then we're good. So before we get back to what you've got on the agenda, I need to know then, since you said you run a podcast where ultimately all of you guys are fans. I mean, we're still fans as well. I can't not talk about AEW Full Gear before we get off this podcast, especially with it being hot. Ring the bell. Fuck you, Devin, because Devin was at Full Gear and I didn't get to go to Full Gear. But guess what? When I did get to go to Full Gear, I got to fucking interview the new world champ. So fuck you. Making sure you check it out and hit that subscribe button. But with that being said, what were the Shogun's thoughts on AEW Full Gear?
Hey man, I would say some good matches all around. I mean, a lot of those guys, like some of those guys, I know. So I mean, they're all putting it down. I can't really say anything. Can't say anything bad. Can't say anything wrong. I mean, again, it's one of the things people like. I see people doing their thing. See people out there. Shouts out to Lee Moriarty. Shouts out to the to everybody out there, just like making their bones and doing their thing. Also, shouts out to people on Dark and
I watched Full Gear with Shogun. What were your thoughts on Full Gear, Donald? Let me know in the comments since y'all were watching it together.
Shogun's gonna talk some crap. Shogun's busy beating Bronner and Jamal King in some pool. So
I see that. Donald's right on cue. You were beating him in pool.
No. Whoa, Donald's hyping up. I ain't smoke him. It was a good competition. I will say that. It was a good competition. I ain't smoke him. But Shogun had to warm up.
Smoke him if you got him.
Yeah, man. It was a fun time. That was right after our MCPW show. Which shouts out to the whole Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling crew, though. We'll be back. But yeah,
feel free to talk about that if you need to, man, because I've yet to make it out to Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling. So
man,
shout out to them. I've seen a lot of good. I've seen and heard a lot of good things about Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling.
Oh yeah,
I haven't gotten to make it out there yet, but
much love, man. Shouts out to Mike Z. I'm telling you, bro, it's a good product. Sometimes you might have to ride up there. But yeah, man.
Come on, man. I said, I want all the smoke. Maybe me and Shogun will have to make a fucking road trip for one of these shows. I'll roll out with one of those or something. But I got to make my way out there for one of these or something because I've heard a lot of good things about Mr. Chainsaw.
All the top talent out there, and we got top talent coming from Indiana. People coming out from New York. People coming out from Los Angeles. People coming out from Texas. All that, But yeah, good competition. Something that Shogun's always proud about whenever I come through. I actually just had my match against Adam Wick, one of the members of the DTA. And again, I would say one of my another hard-hitting match. Shogun. I mean, of course, you got Adam Wick who does he loves doing these flips. He's a very athletic gentleman, but Shogun loves making people do flips himself with suplexes. So it was one of those things where we had to get it going. But yeah, man, it was like I said, a very fun match. All the matches over there, man, just go crazy. Like Jack Verville, another jiu-jitsu practitioner, brown belt, also. Of course, you have Tommy Vendetta. He just had a really great match against Jamal King. Isaiah doing his thing. Jack Price. I just want to shout out all the big talent out there. You guys come through the Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling. You guys aren't missing. You guys are missing out on some big things. And then also IWTV, they shoot it there. I wish that they covered more. I wish but yeah, because it's some good matches on there.
Well,
I mean, like I said, I've heard.
Donald's throwing big praise out in the comments there, saying it's the best promotion in Michigan. So that's pretty big words, and Donald hasn't steered us wrong yet. So
that's why I fought PCO. Hey man, it was a fun, definitely.
Hey man, PCO, past guest of the motherfucking show. Maybe I'll have to go grab the French Canadian Frankenstein and bring him back on over here, man. Any of you guys who follow us on social media at KO3C Pod, we fuck with the French Canadian superstar over here.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna have to see where he goes now that Ring of Honor is kind of shook out. I definitely am gonna have to make my way out to Mr. Chainsaw. Like I said, shout out to Mikey Zero. And everybody from Mr. Chainsaw. Yes. I've only heard good things about that place. Uncle Chase has said a lot of good things about Mr. Chainsaw. So I definitely am going to have to make my way out. I can't say anything. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Last thing. Also, if you guys are in the area,
please do
come through to the Mega Championship Pro Wrestling Show. Big matches coming through. And yeah, man, I just want to give you all the real about that's honestly one of my other proud promotions over in Ohio. So again, lots of great talent comes through. Like I said, Shane Taylor came through there, big time Bill Collier, not PCO, Alex Shelley, all of them. Honestly, it's a lot of talent that's coming through. It's running through my head, right? Chase Owens of the Bullet Club. Yeah, like I said, you guys come through.
I definitely am going to have to make a move through there, man. Like I said, I mean, for all of you guys who want to know our thoughts on AEW Full Gear, we're going to get into that probably a little bit more on Thursday. As you can see, I can't say anything about his Ricky Steamboat shirt Because ring the fucking bell. I was there at the All Out shirt on, even though Devin got to be there at Full Gear, and I'm still kind of upset that I wasn't there. But hey, and if you're in that kind of mood, shout out to past guest of the show, Dave LaGreca. Make sure you send him some candy before he dies this weekend and gets his ass kicked by Thunder Rosa and gets her face tattooed on his ass. So before you do that, go ahead and make sure you check out our interview with Dave LaGreca. It's real. It's real. Hey, bro. It's like that. See, we sponsored the last show when he went down there for Mission Pro Wrestling, and somehow he made it out with his teeth intact. Now this time he's up the ante, and if Laney Luck don't beat Thunder Rosa this Saturday, he's got to get her face tattooed on his ass.
Are you gonna do the tattoo?
It could be worse. He could be.
Yes, he said he's got to. From the way I understand it, if you guys watch Busted Open, listen to Busted Open. The way I understand it, if Laney Luck doesn't beat Thunder Rosa, and Bubba Ray upped it even this morning. According to him, he said he thinks that if it ends in a disqualification, if it ends in a count out, if it ends in any other way other than Laney Luck winning, that Dave should have to get it by default. So yeah, if Dave loses, he's gonna have face paint where the sun don't shine permanently. So yeah, make sure you check that out on the Title Match Network. And like I said, if you haven't already done so, we had a good time. He didn't like that Corey was wearing a New York Mets hat. But yeah, check that shit out. But yeah, dude, will Shogun be on Black Wrestlers Matter 3?
Hey, shout them out. Everybody go on to Twitter.
All right, we're getting more comments and questions in the comments.
Shout out the promotions you want me at. Shout out the Black Wrestling Matters 3, because there's a lot of people that they hear. I love it. They hear about Shogun, but they don't know about him. So they hear about him. I swear, I got the underground rapper vibe.
I like that.
So please, you guys come through and hit them up on Twitter. Tag Shogun, tag Black Lives Matter, and let them know. Black Lives Wrestling Matter, like, you know, we want Shogun, we want the suplexes.
I mean, I'm cool with seeing the suplexes everywhere, man. I mean, it sounds like Shogun is looking ready to pretty much do a takeover in the state and outside abroad. I mean, before we get out of here, I mean, that's a good question too. You know, we mentioned GCW Horror Slam. You know, we were there at GCW Evil the next night. J-Bone watched it from Fight TV. If you didn't get to, make sure you get the replay of that motherfucker. And check out Uncle Chase doing his damn thing in the 5-way on GCW. And my man's almost decapitated him with that leg drop. But he's all right. He's okay, though. But if you saw it, you know what I was talking about. J-Bone, I saw your face change when I say that. It looked like his head got decapitated, but he was all right.
What about the sweep in the beginning when he went flying out the ring right under his hip? That was what.
Yeah, you're not kidding. He took some pretty gnarly fucking he took some pretty.
With the cane can't be taking that damage to the hip like that.
No matter how it goes, man, Uncle Chase always leaves his mark on the night. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Or just another like bone bruise on his head, like he's got a few of those. I mean, one or the other, it works either way. But hey, Unk did his damn thing, and he's gonna be back GCW at Harpo's in January. That's gonna be pretty fucking gnarly. With that being said, you know, are we gonna see Shogun messing with GCW anytime soon? Because I keep seeing you on these Horror Slam GCW shows. I think Shogun would do great in Josh Barnett's Bloodsport.
You know, Shogun is actually aiming for that. I mean, if it's gonna happen, I mean, this is one of those things where I look, man, I got a vision, and Shogun sees it, and I think that Bloodsport is something that's not just tailor made for Shogun, but also has Shogun's name all over it. So, I mean, I'm down, and I see all the competition from Calvin Tankman, Mizuru Suzuki-san. You have Barnett himself in it. You know, like I just want the heaviest hitters possible that Shogun can prove himself against.
Yeah, and
I like any one of those matchups.
I feel like something like Bloodsport would really be fitting for the style too.
Much love, man. Thank you. Hopefully it'll happen. Hopefully, y'all tag Bloodsport, tag GCW. Say
It makes him a
want
scary motherfucker, man. This dude could, first of all, suplex you out of the ring, and then he's gonna put your ass to sleep. And man, yeah,
man.
I'm out.
J Bone, anybody mess with you? I got you, bro.
Hey man, that's what I'm talking about. See, Dread King Logan likes to play like he's not in our corner, but I just want it known for any of the listeners that were out there at Horror Slam versus GCW. You know, this is now the second time I have come to the defense of one of our guests, because let me tell you, if that kid that was working there at the Knights of Columbus wanted to get it on and popping, your boy and the Dread King were ready to get at it. So I was about to show motherfuckers what's up with these suplexes in a minute. But hey, it was a good time over there at Horse Slam versus GCW, man. I think it'd be a good one, man. Especially, we just had Gil Gordado, who also happens to be the coach of one John Moxley, on the show from Extreme Couture, and he competed on Bloodsport as well. I mean, I'm loving seeing more of, you know, the more integrated, you call it UWF style, call it whatever you want. I love seeing more of that, because like I said, especially when you watch like a Japan or something like that, you just see how much MMA and grappling are, you know, integrated into, you know, what we're seeing. Donald says he wants to see you in the pit. What about the pit?
Oh, Shogun's down to be in any pit. I'll throw anybody in any pit. I don't care. I think that
said no ring ropes, no problem.
No ring ropes, no problem. I think that was one of my favorite stages in Def Jam 5 from New York. Shogun wants all. Shogun don't care.
I love that game.
Shogun will jump in the pit. I don't care. And I also see what's up with Isaiah Bronner. What do you mean, Donald? Isaiah.
That's what I want to know. Where's Isaiah at? Where the fuck's Isaiah at? I want Isaiah. If you got balls, throw them in the comments. Like I said, man. I think you'd do great in the pit. But now that you brought it up, quick sidebar: favorite Def Jam game and why?
Oh man, number 2, the second one for sure. I feel like the purest one, because you not only had the best cast, but I mean, first off, yeah, Henry Rollins as your trainer, which is hilarious.
Bronner's watching with us. That's why.
Hey, Bronner. And then, but yeah, then you had all these other, like you had the whole cast from. I mean, you had Flavor Flav being a drunken master. You doing like drunken boxing moves. You know, you had Crazy Legs over here doing capoeira moves. You know, you had just all.
What about Fat Joe?
Fat Joe had.
Fat Joe was like the hardest boss to beat in that motherfucker. I lost to him about 6 times.
The best right hook. All you had to do was get him against the wall. Once you got him against the wall, power punch him against the wall, he leans up. You just press X.
Right, but if he hits you though, you like fly.
Hey man, you better move. You better know how to move. Yeah, bro. I'm like, look, Fat Joe busting around with submission. He definitely went to jiu-jitsu class in that game. You know, yeah, man. It was definitely, that was my favorite, best flushed out fighting system possible.
Yeah, you were definitely right on the mark.
I missed
the
those
second
games.
one. With the first one, it seems like they realized the success. With the third one, it seems like they fucked it up. But the second one was right on the money. So I agree completely.
That whole Street series, you had Def Jam 5 New York, NBA Street Volume 2 came out, NFL Street Volume 2 was just hidden. That whole series for some reason
Exhibit running you through the parking lot and shit.
I've been saying it for years. They either need to bring back the streets or they need to bring back like the NFL Blitz and shit like that. They need to do something to bring back sports gaming, because as somebody who is a regular video game enjoyer, man, this shit is getting pretty lame out there. It's like the same 5 games for the last.
Sports games have been pretty fucking whack for a while, but I mean, does Shogun get down on the Call of Duty Vanguard though? That's what we need to know, or Warzone, or any of those.
Shogun will get down on some Warzone. Shogun will also get down on some Apex Legends as well. Shogun will also get down on.
How come you ain't played with me and Shane yet? That's what I want to know. When is it going to be me, you, and Shane Taylor getting dubs in Warzone or on Vanguard or Apex, or you, me, and Corey can get dubs on Apex?
Hey man, with Apex, man, you just gotta send the invite. You just gotta send.
Come on, man. What's the shit? Send it in the private chat or whatever. We can get at it.
We'll do it, man. I'll send it in the private chat, and everybody else, Also, I'll be posting it. You know, I think it's just Jackson Stone actually. If you just type in Jackson Stone with an extra E, that'll be me. For some reason I was able to get my own name. So y'all just search me and you see my eyes popping up. But yeah, man, like I said, I love all. I'm honestly also not gonna lie, I've been loving like other than like my shooters and all the stuff I play online. I do enjoy my story games. Love Yakuza, the Yakuza series. Shouts out to all the makers, the people that contributed to that. No Man's Sky, all that stuff, man. Like, look, like just is like, you know, God of War, of course. You know, I can't wait for that new one to come out.
I loved God of Wars, dude. I wish they would.
But yeah,
I was
man,
bummed that they never got put on Xbox, but I loved those back. I remember playing the first one back with PlayStation 2. What was funny is I had to get put on by a friend of mine's dad who still played the games. He's like, you got to play this shit. This is going to be pretty dope. And I remember I started playing it, started killing fuckers with the swords he's got, dude. And I'm like, damn, this shit is pretty fucking.
That game,
like the swords, also Soul Calibur, Tekken. Street Fighter, Shogun throws hands virtually too.
As somebody
he gets down all smoke.
As somebody who's already in the entertainment sphere, any thoughts on ever putting up a stream or anything like that, going the Twitch route?
You know, the stream route Shogun did do actually, and you know, I realized I wasn't doing it to the full capacity that I wanted to. Right now, with the way Shogun wanted, how Shogun wanted to present it, just wasn't it. But actually, I just got my cam. I just got my webcam not too long ago. And now Shogun really wants to showcase his face because it was just his voice at one point. And although he has a very ASMR type vibe, Shogun wants to be able to show what he looks like to the lovely stream and enjoy these games also. Whether I'm dying, respawning, or getting a couple kills here and there and winning. I just want to be able to enjoy it and let people see it. Because I was also doing a full Crash Bandicoot series, just beating the Crash Bandicoot games. I had some people just getting down on that and loving that. So yeah, man, I'll be back soon.
With the wide array of games that you just listed, I feel like that's the type of stuff that makes people successful because they're able to garner attention from multiple markets, as I'm sure somebody like you has already realized. So.
Much love, man. Thank you. You know what? Like when we do get down, you guys all invited.
Talk about
nostalgia.
All those games you guys mentioned. Crash Bandicoot, dude. Jeez.
Oh yeah,
Crash Bandicoot was the deal back in the day. Bro.
Right, we're going old school. Love it.
Bro, look, the first one was the hardest.
Shit, Donald said, "Let's get with it." He's already throwing out the invites, throwing out that gamer tag for the PS5. If you get down on Vanguard or any of those, throw them bitches.
Hey man, I'll be hitting y'all up soon.
Oh yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm not scared. Like I said, anyone who listens to this knows that me and your boy Shane T get down on the Call of Duty war zones and all them shits. So here's a funny story for you. My first Warzone win was right in the beginning of pandemic with Shane Taylor, and we made it through the whole game, got the final kill. The victory thing came up, all that shit, and then the game fucking crashed, and I didn't get my W. My first W, and I got the last kill.
Is it in the stat books? But is it in the
Did you
books?
clip it?
I got the last kill and everything.
Did you clip it though?
Shane Taylor can back this shit up. Like we have talked about this on the show with Shane because it was bullshit. Because then every time we played after that, it was the funniest shit because it was my first win in Warzone and the fucking game screwed up before I even got to get my W. They just couldn't they just didn't want to see me win. They didn't want to see me win.
Rogan says they don't want to see you win, man. You got clip. You got to press that clip button though.
Yeah,
that's what the fuck I'm talking about, man. I gotta throw fuckers in this guillotine right quick and get down with it. But before I give you the last platform to let everybody know where the fuck else to find you, we ain't scared out here. So J-Bone, you're tweeting and shit. What was your favorite, Flair Steamboat match, bitch? We're still live. Which
you gotta
one's
follow me
the
on Twitter
favorite?
to find out, man.
Hell no. We're still live. That ain't how we play around here.
You caught me. I didn't think you're
We're still live. I seen it. I sees everything. I'm the all-seeing eye in this bitch. So
I'm still trying to figure out how to work this
Big
damn
brother.
Twitter machine, to be honest.
All right, which one is it?
Shot, man, it's such a close. I love the Spring Stampede one in like 94, but the Chi-Town one, 89 one was the probably the best one. But there was one. I don't remember what year it was, but I remember I was young as hell and I was watching it. It was like WCW Saturday Night or something. Wasn't that the one that came out like Saturdays at like 6:05?
Yeah.
And they had a match on there, dude. It was fucking great. I loved it. I don't quote me. I might be wrong on that.
You know who else had a good match on WCW Saturday Night that all y'all kids need to go back and watch? You need to go watch Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against one stunning Steve Austin. Catch that bad lad with that flowing blonde hair. That was some good shit there, guy. Hey, man, I watch all the shit. I'm a Stone Cold Mark, so I've watched everything from stunning Steve Austin to superstar Steve Austin and fucking everything in between. I probably know that fucker's.
I just watched some Muda versus Sting. Muda and Sting had a great feud.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure, dude. And then when it culminated into and then Muda and Sting, and then remember when it was Sting and Flair versus Funk and Muda in the Thunderdome cage and shit.
Hell yeah. When Muda climbed up.
Talk about that. The shit was before I was alive, and I'm bringing it to you. See there?
Well,
look at that.
Since you're bringing Sting up, though, I do want to get your thoughts for being this late in his career. I guess we could word that as politely as possible. There, he's doing really well, man, over in AEW. What's your thoughts on what he's been able to do?
I mean, I think right now at that age is, very impressive. I mean, him and Dustin Rhodes, just like what those guys can do at that age. Honestly, I think it's a blessing that he's still able to go, especially after what was the news of him not even able to, wrestle at all with a neck injury. So I think it's a blessing for him to be in any ring, taking, I wouldn't recommend it, but taking any bumps and even him just landing a stinger splash gets people going. So I think, it's just a blessing that he's able to move around for real. Because after that neck injury, as a former athlete in variety of sports that are comprised of a lot of neck injuries, rugby, football, all that stuff, is something where I'm happy that he's doing okay. Because not too long ago, that's the type of stuff that kept Edge down, kept a lot of people messed up. Actually, a lot of people had that similar neck injury that we didn't even really know about.
Yeah, I know.
Shit, and think about that. That was during a title run too. Like Sting finally gets to WWE. They put him in a world title run, and then you put him against Seth Rollins, and then
I know my personal thoughts when AEW announced that Sting was coming on board, and they did the whole big announcement and stuff. I was like, man, it is AEW kind of making their first big misstep, I guess you could say, was my initial thoughts. I'm like, man, he's an older guy. He's been through a lot of rough stages in his career. Wrestling is no easy sport. He's got it taken out of him throughout the years. And for him to do as well as he did has been a genuine surprise. It really is. It's nice to see somebody of his stature and his experience still being able to go out there and do what he's doing. So
they did it the right way too. They didn't push it on you like, you're not going to insult our intelligence with, what is he, 50, 56, 55?
He's in his 60s, dog.
60, yeah. You're not going to be right around me. You're not going to fool me by Sting going out there and winning the world title, man. They're doing it the right way with Sting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it's been really good for them to have him with Darby Allin, too, which, hey, we interviewed Darby Allin, too. He told us to go tell Evolve to go fuck themselves. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and go check it out. But, yeah, man, like I said, I agree 100% with what you're saying. I think AEW is doing it right with a lot of things, like with what we were talking about. Kenny Omega, dropped the world title this past weekend to Hangman Page, a 2-year storyline. Holy shit. A story that can last longer than 6 months in wrestling in 2021. Hot damn, circling in red. But I thought that was very well done by AEW as well. That's one thing that they've done is the storytelling. Is that something that you like? I mean, with you being more of a Smash Mouth style, what are your thoughts on the more storytelling route as far as wrestling? Do you like to have like the more long drawn out feuds, or for you, is it more about like the individual match?
I mean, I believe right now on the indies is mainly about the individual match. When you get up to a particular level, i.e. Impact, WWE, AEW, New Japan, all that stuff, there are, with the storylines involved. Yeah, I mean, if with the storyline being included, oh yeah, me personally, I love that art of just like telling something, like giving hints of something, dropping little dimes and whatnot. But I mean, in between, I mean, you're supposed to have banger matches. You're supposed to have something that makes the story. You know what I mean? During Rock and Austin's feud, the lead up to that, Amazing 17, they had matches against each other or with each other in tags or in multis, and just like it was amazing matches. And so if you take those out, the build up to the actual match is like is not, there's no real animosity because you don't really see what they're competing for. It's a competition at the end of the day, and Shogun's trying to win. So if that story of me trying to win takes a year, 2 years, hell, 3-4 years, fine. As long as like I see that finish line at the end of the tunnel, and I know I'm going for it. I don't care how long the story is, as long as Shogun gets to the finish line.
I like it, and I feel like that made it all the sweeter for Hangman to finally get the title. I feel like he was the one that needed to take that belt off of Kenny, and I mean, I feel like now you've opened up a whole new, thing, because let's not forget, that's one thing I hope that we can see more in wrestling in 2021, but even down to like the little things that they did in that match. Like if you notice down towards the end when they went to go do the last buckshot lariat, and he's looking outside the ring and Matt Jackson's out there, and he stops and he looks, and Matt just nods his head yes and lets him hit him, instead of thinking, because before the match, again, it goes into that storytelling, where Hangman comes up to him and like, look, we're even now. Like, you cost me the world title, I cost you the tag titles, we're even now, but if you get involved, I'm gonna end you. And then for it to go down like that, to where he looks at him and Matt kind of just goes, okay, it's your time, and lets him have it. Like, that's the shit I feel like that's been missing so much from wrestling. But I definitely can see what you're saying, in that, in your case, still being on the indies and things like that, like why, that one individual banger of a match would be the way to go. Donald saying, just wanted to throw this out there. Sean Tyler hit the kid in the head with a can of lemonade at ICW, and Shogun brought him a shirt, and he's been a huge Shogun fan ever since. Man, you can't be hitting kids with lemonade, Sean Tyler. You're a past guest of the show, but what the fuck?
And no, man, I said, the stories, like, you can have stories. I mean, I've seen stories on the indies, but like I said, when you get to the, like, fortunately, with me being signed to Impact, and when you get to like the other spots, there's just more that goes into that, honestly. And I mean, I like them both, but you can't have one without the other, in my opinion. In my opinion, you really can't have one without the other. You can't have Steamboat and Flair having amazing feuds against each other, and them not having competition against each other. Why are they upset then? Why are they? Oh yeah, they want the title, but where's the emotion behind it? You know what I mean?
Long-term storytelling is what.
Yeah, man. So, and you watch Shogun matches, I try to bring that in, even if it's for one time that you're gonna see us together. I try to bring all that emotion, all of that passion into that one match, regardless of whether you're going to see me and this person face off now, again 6 months later, no matter what. So and I feel like that's what separates me from the other, is that there's continual passion. It's not just like, all right, we're gonna take this day off. What drives me is the ability to say, all right, well, we have this next match coming up. All right, how can I take this up to the next notch for myself? How can I take this up a notch? Because look, man, I'm a big, if you watch All Japan or any like New Japan Wrestling, I'm a big other than Great Muda, big Kenta Kobashi fan. And Kenta Kobashi was always really big into like those hard-hitting, crazy matches that told beautiful stories.
Well, there's definitely a way to tell a story while in the match itself as well. And I feel like that's one thing that indies do a great job of doing because, like you say, they don't necessarily always have the time or they don't know who's going to be on the schedule for each match. So they're not able to maybe build up as much background story. But when it comes to the match itself or even the lead up to, they usually do a very good job there in filling in the blanks, I guess you could say.
I couldn't agree more, dude. Like I said, I feel like we could talk to Shogun forever, but you mentioned that you've got some more hits. So is there a hit list that Shogun's got as we go forward into 2022? Is there, like a list of people you want to face, or better yet, why don't you just tell people where the Shogun World Tour is headed next?
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Because Shogun, my suplexes don't discriminate. I see a bunch of wrestlers, and I love it when wrestlers have like a list of all the people they want to wrestle. That's great clout. But Shogun wants to suplex everybody, and that doesn't. I don't care if you're over on the East Coast, the West Coast, Southwest, wherever. Shogun wants to go, and my plan, other than attacking Chicago, because I've been going to Chicago style wrestling a lot. Shouts out to Chicago style wrestling, also freelance. Been hitting them up. I'm planning on honestly going there more, and also going through down to Texas and hitting up some Texas promotions. Also, of course, sticking to my roots with Mega.
You should go mess with our friends Pele Pro. Kyle, if you're checking this out, you liked Isaiah Broner. I told you, man, we got some talent up here in the mitten.
If you're
Bring
looking for
down
a real heavy
Shogun
hitter,
down to Texas.
Oh yeah, you got one heavy hitter in Bronny. If you're looking for the other, the big suplexes, I will call myself. There's so many suplexes in the game. I'm the main one right now. And if you want that talent, again, hit me up, because again, there's so much competition, so much talent around the country and around the world. Shogun can't pass it up. And other than Texas, you have Florida. You have also, you have California, you have Canada hitting that back up. Going over to Pittsburgh, New York, New Jersey. There's Jersey Championship Wrestling. AIW also over in Ohio. Shouts out to Jocelyn. And just every just also Derek Dillinger, all of them. But it's one of those things where I'm again. There's so many people. It's a weird thing in wrestling when they say you can work here, but you can't work. No, I'm working everywhere. Shogun wants to work everywhere. Shogun wants to suplex everybody and every person. You think you're the baddest, you think you're the best in your promotion. Shogun wants to see what's that about. So doesn't really matter.
I mean,
by any chance, are you in the bodyguard business? Because we may need one day, and I want that guy.
What, brother?
Donald's throwing out some matchups he wants to see. He says Shogun versus Gary J. He wants to see Shogun versus Aaron Williams.
I'll end up being your negotiator more than your security, brother.
Hey, that's what the fuck I'm talking about. As long as you get
you're on our side, I ain't being suplexed. I'm with it.
Oh,
hey,
good,
a great place for you to start negotiating. You should tell your partner Rhino from GCW versus Horror Slam you should come fuck with your boys on Knockouts and 3 Counts. See, I already got your first gig.
Hey man, hey man, you seen him at the show? You seen him
I
at the
just
show?
talking
Hey man,
shit.
what's up?
I'm talking shit.
No, you good?
No,
good.
dude, it's funny. It's funny because, like I said, it's just funny because we go like it's one of those things where it's like when it would be me, him, and my dad would be together, he'd notice right away. But if it were just me, not because my dad didn't really go to many of the guys like that. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. It's like it was funny right before my dad died. He's like, he gave me Rhino's number, and he's like, dude, you should text Rhino and get Rhino on your show. I was like, Dad, like I appreciate that you gave me his number, but the fact that he's probably not going to know who it is off the top, I'm sure he probably doesn't want somebody just texting his phone like, hey, so my dad gave me your number. I know you probably won't remember this, but you gave me WrestleMania 18 when I was 11. So come on my podcast. But Rhino, if you hear this though, come fuck with your boys.
Rhino, you hear it. Also, shouts out to Donald. I see you got Gary J. and Aaron Williams. Both are great would be great opponent, especially with Aaron Williams, baddest man alive out here. Oh yeah, most definitely.
I have to put
See,
that
Donald
moniker
is
to the
always
test,
coming
huh?
in the clutch. He is like greatly made himself like one of the, like our number one listeners, man. This dude is in here like every fucking
Y'all,
week.
I'm
So
telling
we
you, man,
appreciate
all the
you.
listeners. What's up? Shouts out to you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.
Hey,
greatly
man,
appreciated,
like I
as
said, we
always.
greatly appreciate
And
it. If you're new here, make sure you hit that like button, throw out them comments, make sure you're following us on the social media buttons and hitting the subscribes. But I mean, dude, I don't know. It sounds like, we've been talking your ear off for about an hour and a half now.
You good?
And it sounds like Shogun is getting ready to make this a world tour. So if you've got any social medias, obviously you've got your YouTube and all that stuff. What's the best way for everybody to keep up with where your next hit mission's at?
You can contact the Suplex Shogun, the senpai of all throws, the throw of your favorite pro wrestler, probably. You can hit me up on IG. Just type in Jackson_Stone313. Go to Twitter, Jackson_Stone31. Find me on Facebook, Jackson Stone's the athlete page. And again, also please hit up the YouTube. There'll be some more vlogs, some more promos, some more matches being thrown up there. I had my recent one with Aaron Orion, also from GCW, from Horror Slam. That was a very fun match. Very, very, again, hard-hitting match. You can also check out any other MCPW matches, my championship match against Jamal King, PCO, all of that. So, yeah, man, just tune in. And also some matches against Drag King Logan as well. So, yeah, shouts out to all the
Man,
promotions
you just have been
there.
fighting all of our past guests and shit. Like, goddamn, I'm over here calling you out, but you've already like fought all of our guests and shit. And then
I've been in the game for six and a half years. I've been hustling.
I know.
I'm telling you, check it out. But I'm telling you, man, it's Nate, like DMX. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. So it's one of those things where again, Shogun wants to smoke. Shouts out to everybody out there, all the talent out there. Much love. Shouts out to XICW, UCW, again, Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling, and Mega Championship Wrestling. Much love to all the Michigan promotions and all the Ohio Midwest promotions. Chicago, you guys holding it down. Show going to be seeing you soon. East Coast, Canada, all that stuff.
Don't forget Canada
and Florida, Texas, everybody. Oh yeah. And
I caught the name on the Twitter and the Instagram, the Jackson Stone, but I missed the YouTube. What was that one again?
Oh, just go to Jackson. Just type in Jackson Stone, and you can either type in wrestler or just Jackson Stone, and I'll pop up.
Okay.
Right now, I'm rocking at 320 subscribers. I appreciate the people that have been tuning in. Been seeing a big jump in the last couple of months. If you guys can, just keep on coming through. Again, I'm adding more content.
Hey, man, I hear you. We're trying to do vlogs out here. We did a vlog for All Out and all that shit. We did a shot inside of, where were we at? Millennium Park before that lady tried to throw us out. and Corey became an Effie fan and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah, check out our vlogs over there at Knockouts and 3 Counts.
Yeah.
Hey, Effie, I talked to you at GCW about it. Hey, stay tuned. You never know who might show up. I mean, hey, you might see Leon Ruff here. You might see Emil here. You might see, hell, you might see Jimmy Smith from Monday Night Raw in this bitch. Who knows? You got to hit that subscribe button because you never know who might be on the other end of the Zoom box with us. But I can tell you that J-Bone will be with us, though.
Where's my lemonade cow though? Where's my lemonade, bro? Where's my lemonade, bro?
I've got the lemonade. I already had mine.
I gotta go through this web camera now. Oh, man.
Dude, I got my strawberry lemonade right here. Wingstop. Where's my sponsorship? Damn it! I had to fill up on my chicken and lemonade before we went live on this bitch.
I need a double.
Corey can tell you. I got a cup for you. Hey, if I call it out right here and now.
Anybody, it should be Kyle.
How you think I get them guns, son? And for all of you fans that keep coming up saying I look more jacked in the camera than I look on live TV, fuck y'all. I'm putting in the work. But anyway,
throw it up, bro. Throw it up.
Hey, man, we trying out here. Hey, man, literally, we went to the XFC fights and had a guy come up to me and literally was like, man, not to be disrespectful, but man, you look so much more jacked on the camera. I'm like, well, damn, fuck you too. Like, hey, but we appreciate you. As long as you're watching, it's all good. And if you're fans of XFC Young Guns is going down December 10th, Grand Rapids, the Deltaplex Arena. Hell, Shogun, you should come to XFC with us. We got Kenny the Boss Cross is going to be making his return to the cage. You got Mondo El Toro Gutierrez going to be making his return to the cage. And you've got Austin the Young Killer Bashy over here. This kid's out here just beating up people from Chicago like the last time we were there. Stay tuned. We'll be bringing all them back to the show. And shout out to the big boss, Myron. If you want to send some more of that XFC shit, I would gladly wear it here on the show. So now that I've got done plugging XFC and everything else out of the way, man, I think we've had a damn good time. But like I said, I'm calling it out right here now before I end the show. Me and Jackson Stone are going to have to get down on some rolling. And if you want some lemonade, the invite is always open for you to come fuck with us on a UFC card, and I'll make sure I got plenty of lemonade in this bitch.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what Shogun talking about. Hey, we down. And J-Bone, if you ever need any 808s, Shoguns in the back, I got you, man.
Baby. Let's do it.
Hey, we got the Shoguns in the back, choppers in the front. Till next time and in the in-between time, hit that subscribe button if you know what's best, or I'm sending Austin Bashy and Shogun after you.
I gotta end it on one thing before we go. 8-1, baby. 08-1.
I know.
Yeah, Jimmy, if you do end up coming on this show, your Steelers were part of that shit too. So fuck Pittsburgh, and shout out to our friend Josh Frem from Pittsburgh. Your Pittsburgh Steelers were involved in that shit too, bro. But make sure you check Josh Frem out.
When we get our first dub, and this may not be a win, but it's a tie. Goddamn it!
Hey, man.
It's not a loss. It's not a loss.
We're in this bitch.
Man,
08-1. Fuck the Lions. They need to get a dub. But until next time and in the in-between time, I'll rock my Lions hat. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, throw them comment buttons, and make sure you follow Shogun so he don't toss you on your neck. Peace.